Hello everyone. As I make this video, I pull it up on Lunarium. It's Moon in Sagittarius. Perfect fire sign to do this video. This will be a video on the same position as what I started last time. Pluto in Scorpio in the 12th house. But the one for this one focus, whereas the last time was the water energy, this time is the fire energy. Fire. Fire. I started with the water energy for obvious reasons. Scorpio is a water sign, and the general energy of this is better to be talked about as a water sign, as a water energy. But I'm always very excited to talk about the fire energy of a water sign, especially Pluto in Scorpio, especially Scorpio, because Scorpio is a particularly, it's not been called in few times by ancient astrologers as the fire in the water or the watery fire, the sort of layering two elements together. And I think that's a good way to talk about it because the focus of this piece is the motivation and the energy source of this position. And in a way, think about it, that kind of metaphor of fire and water, underwater tectonic movements, areas in the ocean where there are lava seeping through constantly and constantly being sublimated into material in the ocean. That kind of process, right? Where it's, some people might see the marriage, some people might see the fight of life and death between fire and water. It's sort of neither, that's maybe too much of a way of talking about it in a personalistic way, but that's it's a way for me to say that the motivation of this, or that the lava comes from a element. So fire, what is fire? Fire is what gets me to feel. Fire is what gets me to feel like me. Fire is what gets me to feel like I belong to a part of a group. All these three types of fires are ultimately interrelated, but they are going to form the structure of what I'm talking about today, because oftentimes, see, we're seeing this in our society wholesale. There's many historical reasons for this, but the symptom, see, is that people feel that what they feel in ways of sentiment, in ways of sensation, feeling, things they can, feel sort of in a material sense or even in a spiritual sense. I feel emotion. That's both a physical and spiritual thing. Oftentimes people feel like those things that they experience, they feel personal feelings, and what they feel as their identity are different things. And also that there's a cleave. People feel like there's a difference between what they feel as themselves, as their identity, and what gets them to feel like they belong to a group are different things. See, that's the two symptoms, major symptoms in our society. I do see it as symptoms, see, in a kind of medical sense, because I don't think ultimately that those two cleaves, those two mismatching, are normal. I just don't think so. Because from the astrology point of view, what gets me to feel anything, like this is where the physical comes in, because ultimately you have to have nerve endings in order to have sensation. See, sensation or feeling of any kind is by nature not a purely spiritual thing, because you have to feel it. It has to be experienced. The experience, material, and reality has an interlocking relationship to each other. And experience. What gets me to feel anything? I get up in the morning, I experience the day, I experience the light on my face, I experience me walking up, getting a pair of socks, putting it on. These are all experiences. And oftentimes we don't count experiences as feelings, which is one of the main historical reasons for why we ended up here in this mess. You know, it's a nice way for me to put it. Because I'm not trying to say any of this to make people feel bad. I'm wanting to get to the core of it. And, Sagittarius energy tonight is very conducive to this. Um, because, see, Pluto in Scorpio, ultimately, especially in this position in the 12th house, is about, like I said last time, the dissolving of truth. Now, what gets me to feel like me then in a dissolved part of truth, in a 12th house kind of truth? See, because I will do this position, Pluto in the Scorpio, for every single house. And by the time I do fire houses like 9, 5, and 1, people will start to understand what I mean by the difference of energy in houses, because there's differences of sort of elemental structure to it, of mm, different positions, different like different zodiac signs. Excuse me, but also houses themselves play a significant role, because ultimately numbers are already imbued within them the divine structures. Ask anybody like Johann Sebastian Bach. Go watch my video where I play Bach's Goldberg aria, and understand that for someone like Bach, every single note not only corresponded to planets, but also formed like a chord, like two notes together form a chord, or four notes together, whatever. For people like Bach, that is describing cosmic relationships. See, what gets me to feel like me? Me. See, what is me? That's the interesting question. What is me? See, is me simply me? What is confined within this skin, bones, and structure and form? Or is me, me, the spirit within, the spirit that animated this body, all the light within and without? What is me is basically the question here. It's not what gets me to feel. See, oftentimes people think astrology is something super complicated, but astrologers have always joked that their job is more like a plumber or one of my cats just came in. Um, More like a vet or something. But you see, it's very precise because, like I just said, for example, what gets me to feel like me? See, this is one of the number one asked question at psychologists or whatever. It's it, you don't get the answer because the focus is wrong. Psychologists would focus on what gets you to feel. Let's try different things for you to feel. I have different drugs. Oh. But the astrologer would obviously ask, what is me? Who is me? Because it would depend on what is me, that what gets me to feel. You see, it's the opposite. It's not what gets me to feel, then I understand from the feeling that that is me. No, no. Feelings are based upon who you are. You have feelings based on basically who you are. This is an ancient secret I'll share with you guys. Everything you experience is you, right? Every culture says this, right? It's not even a secret, but it's true. Anyway. See, I'm trying to show you guys the difference between me and the traditional mental health care service, because I feel like I myself is a mental health service too. Um, and that gets me to feel like me. See, for example, me. I have some very nice hot cocoa made with chocolate with stevia and no sugar. It's wonderful. It's like less sweet, but you taste the cocoa kind of more, and don't get the aftertaste. See, for example, what gets me to feel like me? See, I'm going to use myself as a case study. This will be what it's like if you come to me for like a reading or something. What gets me to feel like me? Me, Helen. I cannot stop thinking about astrology. I see natal charts in everything. The astrologer would say. Then you feel taken away when you're looking at natal charts, when you're thinking about the stars. Yes, Helen would say. So then you feel when you're doing natal charts. I feel as I do the natal charts. Like my feelings are activated when I do the natal charts. So what gets you to feel like you, Helen, is natal charts. You should be an astrologer. Here I am. It's an example. See, it's an example. Because I made myself laugh there. I had to take a breath. But for me, that's success. Great success. I make myself laugh. See, these are videos for you guys, but also for myself. I'll be old and I'll look at these videos. It'll be like my version of like the, like a bikini picture or something, which I'm not against. I love bikini pictures too. Tits for life. Um, I'm a big Monty Python fan. You have to watch Monty Python to get that joke I just made about tits. It's a very serious art historical joke. Um, oh, I made it. I killed a tiny dragonfly. Anyway, it's a sucking kind. Oh. So, hot. Heart. The great movie by Roman Polanski. I know, but like, let me talk about the movie. Don't like, I know what's on Polanski though, but like, uh, Ghost Rider, Ghost Rider. So I can't remember what I was talking about. This, whatever. What gets me to feel like me? See, I'm trying to show you guys an example of what I can do to help. To find out your individuality, to find out who you are. See, the word individual, as all words, was holy. Individual, Latin for non dividable, right? Indivisible, but also literally like individual, like in division as well. Like it's our language is built up like that though. It's like a riddle thing, you know, like um in meaning it's something indivisible. Like it would be, it implies it would be, you know, I in old language, in old sort of legal Templar words, temple words would be like, it would be a sacrilege, it would be unholy to divide it, but it's not even that. It's like wrong. It's just like unnatural, right? Like to divide a person within or without, it's the same whether it's spiritually or emotionally. It's the same as physical. It's like cutting off one's arm or something. Oh, sorry, I just realized this was placed here. Let's get it up here. So, what gets me to feel part of a group? Hmm? What gets me to feel like I belong to a family, to a group of friends, to a group of classmates, workmates, to even people whom I might, in the context, call my enemies, or to other people who are not people, animals, plants, clouds, spirits on the light, dreams. See, what do I, what gets me to feel a part of a group is an extension of what, of me essentially, because that group is a part of me again. It's the night where I overturn a lot of age old ideas about identity and motivation. See, motivation is very important. Without motivation, the natal chart would just be a map. You see, without a fire, the fireplace is just a hole. You see, without hope, faith, love, passion, sacrifice, pain, endurance, survival. Without those experiences, life is just a empty, cold, circular, perfectly circular hole. It's what the Buddhists called sort of mindless incarnation. I'm not Buddhist expert enough to know the precise idiom, but the endlessness of it all. This is actually where they're talking about what they're talking about. They're not actually talking about the natural flow of life. No. What gets me to feel as part of a group depends on who I am. What I am depends on me again. Because, again, this is the misunderstanding. I do not belong to a part of a group. The group exists because I belong there. You see? This is a very important thing to understand because we're living this right now in politics, in social structures. We're experiencing this right now, where people are realizing that there's two sides to this. Like all these countries where let's say a kind of neoliberal agenda and structure was ostensibly permanent. People are realizing that they can take away that identification at any moment. I mean, think of any of the sort of things like H&M, Adidas, what recently happened. Did that really help with their business? Clearly, no. So it's sort of people, I think, globally, because the current stage is ultimately very much about this. But Pluto in Scorpio as the truth. I find it very endearing that it is sitting right here, our generation, at the opening up of the Aquarius age. It cannot have set a better tone and gives a lot of hope. I mean, there's always hope. Hope is something that's always present, but I think hope becomes a kind of focus in this age with different manifestations, obviously. But the concept that we are actually all on this earth in this together. And actually, from the astrologers have been saying this for years. Not just only you guys on earth, but all of us in the cosmos. You have to think about sometimes even people who live on other planets. See, astrologers have been saying this for years. But did any one of you listen to us? So, listen to your astrologer. No, but I know why the astrologers got into this mess. See, it's sort of everybody's in Lord of the Rings. it's a technique. It's a power. It's just it's like a thing. It's like fire or something. You know, you can use it for evil, or you can use it for good. You can use it to burn down villages, or you can use it to cook a whole village a feast. It's the same fire, ostensibly. So all this is a roundabout way because Sagittarius does not really know how to talk about details. So I might need to make another video to supplement. Although, see, Pluto in Scorpio is the underwater volcano is also not so much about detail. See, it's more about making a path. At what cost? Any cost. It's a relentless energy from underground, under the tectonic movements. Tectonic movements of this planet is unrelenting. It's one of the manifestations of the movements, the cycle, the season. So, what is a group? Is a group of people really a group? Is a group of musicians a group? See, what is a group? What is the difference between a group, a crowd, a mob, a school? See, these are different concepts. Why is a group something that we want to belong to? What is a group? See, everything in life that happens for a reason. If there is such a thing as a kind of impulse to belong to a group, then it means groups matter in the sense that they have functions, that there are only certain things in life can only be attained or achieved by everybody in the group having the same thing, not necessarily material, but the same vision, experience, dream, also material. What is a group? Now, I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say about this. So, what do you have to say about what, any of the things I said? What is a group? What gets me to feel? What gets me to feel like me? See, the three things I tried to talk about today. What gets me to feel and experience? What gets me to feel like me? My identity, my uniqueness from other people, and from the oneness of nature. What separates me from it? And also, what gets me to feel as a part of a group? So, these are the three ways of looking at the Holy Trinity of the fire. Fire is a trinity. Fire is always a trinity. Remember this. Remember, remember. Remember the fire. Okay, I think this will just be it for today. Thanks very much.